Hello, everyone. My guest today is Kevin Hobbs. He's a technology founder, recognized leader in the blockchain ecosystem, and currently the CEO of Etherparty and Vanbex Group. As an early entrant into the cryptocurrency and blockchain technology space, he's a veteran of the industry and has led the group of companies into becoming one of the largest blockchain solution providers in Vancouver. Kevin, are you ready to take us to the top?
Thanks, Nathan. Yeah, I am.
All right. So, a lot of people who I would say are early adopters really understand blockchain. I would say mass market really doesn't yet. So try and dumb Vanbex down for us as best you can. What's the company do related to blockchain?
If you really want me to put it in layman's terms, what we do is we help incubate companies in the blockchain space. We help teach them about what they're trying to do, help them build the foundation of the blockchain business that they might have in the future. So everything from consulting to technology development and everything in between.
So let me break this out though for a second, because there's a lot of people making a lot of money timing the market right, and essentially speculating on different tokens. There's a whole nother group of individuals that are building real technology based on decentralized blockchain and what blockchain enables you to do. Which kind of category are you catering to?
So actually, we hit all aspects of the industry. So we started consulting with companies that wanted to raise funds via token sales, worked on the first one ever with Mastercoin, and then MadeSafe, and then in 2014 started doing it for a lot of different companies. Then in the meantime, we started seeing a real disconnect. So we started building our own products in-house. So Etherparty is something that we built in-house to solve a lot of the adoption problems with the technology, with people who didn't know how to code and people who wanted to take advantage of the benefits of the technology.
Okay, so it's fair to say Vanbex is really an agency. The blockchain CEOs will pay you. You help them with a variety of things. And Etherparty, what's its business model?
So Etherparty is basically a SaaS model solution that allows anybody to use smart contract technology on Ethereum or Bitcoin. So our first iteration of it will let you do utility security or tokenized assets, along with voting, AML, KYC, into a marketplace where people can have their offerings just like in a traditional stock exchange or marketplace. Moving on, we're going to be tackling charity, supply chain management, and other applications with different industries. So we work with a lot of Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, government institutions, and banks to build out solutions for their back-end infrastructures.
And help me understand, and again, I don't want to go down every customer cohort here, but on average, what's a customer pay per month for Etherparty?
It really depends on what they want. So Etherparty for their technology solution, if they want to come in and sign up on the utility token solution, you're looking at about $10,000 US, start to finish.
Per month or annually?
No, one-time fee.
I thought you said it was a SaaS product.
It is a SaaS product, but Rocket, if you're talking about just the product right now, it's a one-time fee to set up your token sale.
Okay. Do you have any true recurring revenue, like SaaS revenue, or no?
Not yet. So okay, the SaaS model is coming from some of the POCs that we're doing with some of the companies that are coming along the way.
Okay.
So still a work in progress.
So right now, just to summarize, the pure product you've got under Etherparty, along with the Vanbex kind of agency, this is all really you just kind of closing clients that need help with the token issuance or marketing materials or the actual tech questions, things like that.
Yeah, now we're gravitating more to doing proof of concepts for larger industries and kind of building out their MVPs, alphas, and betas.
Actually doing the coding?
Yes. Yeah, we have now 20 developers in house.
Okay. How many people total?
42.
42, all in Vancouver?
We have a couple people overseas.
Okay, got it.
And mostly all here.
That's great. So 20 developers. That's great. And then, is this your typical kind of model where you pay a developer X price, you mark it up by a little bit, and then you get the customers, and that's your margin?
Pretty much, yeah. We try to base it out based on the solution that the customer's trying to do. So proof of concepts could start anywhere from $50,000, and sky's the limit, really.
Yeah. So we'll put this on a timeline for me. When did you launch the company? What year? Vanbex?
2013.
2013. Okay, good. So good timing there, obviously. And then over the past 12 months, how much revenue have you done?
Last 12 months, I think we're on pace to do $4 million on the consulting side.
Okay, but so there wouldn't be an on-pace aspect because we're talking about historical 12 months, meaning it's already done. What have you done over the past 12 months?
Are you including the raise that we did?
No, not raise, just revenue dollars.
Just revenue. If I were to go and look at it today, I think we're at 3.2 million.
That's great. Across how many customers?
Oh, geez, I'd have to look that up.
Like maybe dozens or hundreds?
We've worked with over 100 to date. This year, dozens.
Dozens. Okay.
Last 12 months.
Fair enough. And then you've raised capital. So how did you raise? I assume you probably did a token issuance or something, right?
We did do a token sale. Yeah.
Okay, a token sale. So how much did you raise?
$30 million US roughly.
And help people understand. So, by the way, I've researched this. I think I have a good understanding, but I'm still going to trip myself up. When people hear you say, okay, we raised 30 million US dollars on a kind of a token sale. I mean, in their heads, my mom in Denver, Colorado is going, wait, is that like 30 million going into his like BB&T account? Like what's actually happening? Explain this to us.
So we did a token sale where we accepted Ether in return for our fuel tokens. That Ether amount equaled at the time to roughly about $30 million US.
I don't want to ask this question because I'm sure it's painful, but what is it worth today?
So today, I think it would be, I guess at today's price is roughly around 13 million.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. I know it was very popular, especially back in the times where you did your raise, people would liquidate, but obviously it looked bad if you liquidated a ton of it because you're basically pulling out of your own market you just created, which is a sign of lack of confidence. Did you liquidate it all?
We did liquidate some. We were fortunate to liquidate some at the time. Our business model, obviously we're very positive on the crypto space, but we have to pay the bills.
Yeah, totally. So what, do you mind me asking, 10% liquidation? I mean, how much did you liquidate?
So we've liquidated probably about 60%.
Okay, 60?
Yes.
And that was all right when you raised, or some of that was yesterday and some was a year ago?
No, most of it was right around the time when we raised, like in the beginning, and then a little bit here and there as we went along.
Okay, so it's fair to say, I mean, again, the reason I'm asking is prices change over time, but if you liquidated about kind of 50% when you were valued at 30 million, that's fair to say you had about 15 million bucks cash in the bank and fiat to pay your bills, pay developers, et cetera.
Roughly, yeah.
That's great. And so how do you view the kind of volatility right now happening in whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum blockchain in general? Does it really affect you? I mean, you already liquidated, so you have cash to fuel the growth. Yeah,
it does still affect us because we still do hold. So it definitely does affect what we do on a day-to-day basis, how we plan. Also because the market has softened up so much right now, we're not bringing as much revenue right now. A lot of people are holding off till the new year to see what happens with these markets to kind of turn around.
How should... I'm not talking about speculators. How should technologists that like blockchain take advantage of the cheap prices right now?
Oh, I mean, that's really tough. Like we're blockchain agnostic. So whether cryptocurrencies kind of go to the moon or go to the floor, for us, our day-to-day business doesn't change that much. I really want people to, or I think people should look at, their internal process and infrastructures and the problems they're trying to solve and see if blockchain is really a fit for what they're trying to do. As speculation comes, I mean, I wrote a couple articles about this talking about why I see the problems right now. And that's because but around January, we let a horse into the crypto space, and that was fiat currency without a barrier to entry. And right now, the entire market is oversupplied with very little demand. I literally just talked about this at a conference in Toronto, how this market could go to zero for where it's at right now. And I'm very worried about that. And what I mean by the barrier to entry is
what happens if that happens? You mean go to zero, Bitcoin hits zero?
I can see Bitcoin going very low, maybe back to, well, I mean, Bitcoin could go to $1,000. And Ether Ether could be even lower than where it is right now, $10 range.
So what does that mean for you though, if that happens?
Well, obviously we lose out a lot on the cryptocurrency that we hold. Our business model still kind of stays the same. We just have to change the way that we charge for things.
Do you have any of that 15 million you liquidated still in the bank?
Yeah, of course.
Would you take any of that and buy at much, much cheaper prices? It's essentially a stock buyback, like Warren Buffett just did with Berkshire.
Yeah, I definitely would. I would have to talk to some of my board members to see if they want me to do that. Right now, they'd probably be against it, but yeah.
Yeah. So walk me through the company setup. So you have a traditional board. Have you raised any traditional venture capital, or do you hold 100% of the actual cap table, the equity?
We raised $500,000 in 2016. Lisa and myself hold 90% of the company.
Who and yourself?
My partner, Lisa Chang.
Oh, Lisa. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
She's your partner, like wife partner or just business partner?
She's my business partner.
Okay, got it. Lisa, and you hold 90%.
Her and I hold 90% of the company right now. So yeah.
That's great. So you basically sold 10% back in the day for 500.
500 grand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So the board members right now, they're some of the ones that put in 500.
Some of the people who have the voting shares, yeah, they are.
Yeah, in other words, you didn't use any board spots for advisors, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, board spots right now are me and Lisa, and she's the one that I'd have to fight over with if I wanted to buy some stuff back right now.
Got it. And then two others, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, there's no other board members right now.
I thought you said there were 4.
4 investors, 4 shareholders.
Okay, so they don't have any protection over the 500 they put in. They don't have a board seat.
They don't have a board seat. They just have the voting rights.
I see. Well, do they have any kind of power of the voting rights though, or not really?
Well, I mean, not really, but we don't really act like that. We're going to be actually doing something here in the future where we're going to announce, which is kind of a first ever, which is going to allow more people in on the equity of Vanbex in a very new way. It's a little bit too early to talk about this. I was hoping to be able to announce it on Friday, but our interview's today.
Is well, this, by the way, this won't go live until middle to late next year, just because of our wait list. But is that because of a new government regulation that has allowed something new to happen?
We've been, let me just talk about, for the last 5-6 months, we've been working with legal, talking with regulators all over the world. We're building a new token standard, which is almost like a digital share certificate. We'll be the first company in the world to actually offer a securitized token through our Rocket platform. So it's really interesting. It's not just the token and the code, it's everything that goes along with it. How it gets audited, how it gets transferred, who can buy it, who can't buy it, and we'll be the first company to ever offer equity via this way.
Interesting. How are you going to get your first 100 customers on the SaaS product?
We have, right now for us, it's just building it out. Our first 100 customers on the SaaS market, we have about 4,000 people signed up to use it in different ways.
Wait list.
Yeah. So to be honest, our first 100 products are going to probably come from our proof of concepts that we're doing with some of the companies right now. And then they're going to onboard their clients to the platforms. So that's where we're getting our biggest use cases. So working with some of the banks.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Very good, Kevin. Let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Art of War, Sun Tzu.
Art of War. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
I follow Mark Cuban and I follow Bill Gates a lot, actually.
Cuban's a good one. Number 3, what is your favorite online tool for building your company?
For which? For voting?
Building the company, yeah.
Oh, what are we using right now? I mean, I guess our favorite online tool that we're using right now, what we're using the most, Asana, I guess.
Yep. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I don't know, 4 or 5.
4 or 5. That's not healthy.
No.
All right. So, and you mentioned married, single. Do you have kids?
No, single.
Not married, no kids.
Not married, no kids.
Okay. And how old are you?
38.
38. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Oh gosh. Well, wish he knew to get into coding really early.
Guys, there you have it. Learn code sooner. Founder of Vanbex. Think of it like an agency essentially for the blockchain space. They've got 42 full-time employees, launched in 2013, raised $500,000 a couple years ago. Him and his business partner still own 90% of the company. However, they did do a token sale and raised $30 million. That was the value of the Ether they sold kind of at the time. They liquidated about 60%, so about $15 million in fiat at that time. Good thing they did, because now the price is obviously down to $13 million just because Ether's obviously sank. He does think some of these values could go down much, much lower than they are today, but he's prepared to kind of ride it out with a new mechanism he's invented to launch a few of his SaaS products he's got in the pipeline for blockchain enthusiasts. Kevin, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan.